In anticipation of a strong revival of tourism from India, one of the 3 top priority markets worldwide, South African tourism launches an aggressive marketing campaign, More and More, focusing on adventure activities in the country, targeting mainly the millennials in India. In an interview with India Outbound, Neliswa Nkani, hub head of South African tourism, says a 4-city roadshow will be held in March to boost travel from India. So let's start with the More and More campaign launched by South African tourism in India. Let's start with that.
Super. What would you like to know?
Tell us about the campaign and the idea behind it.
Okay, so South African tourism, actually this campaign started, it was born about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. We had one of our ministers come into the market. He was doing a health check of how is India doing, where is India sitting at, and what can we do for the Indian market. So one of the things that came out, which was very core to us and really triggered an emotion of us magnetizing to More and More, was the fact that the Indian tour operators, which is our key strategic partner, said, what more do you have to show in South Africa? That's the first one. Secondly, they said South Africa can never be seen as a one-dimensional destination where one core brand in our sphere is seen as a representation of South Africa. They wanted to see more. They wanted to see more of South Africa. They wanted to experience more of South Africa. They wanted to taste more of South Africa. They wanted to delve into unpacking what does South Africa have to offer beyond just the conventional going into a particular state and doing 9 days, doing a route and coming back. So that was the beginning of the birthing of this concept. Purely and simply, it is us wanting to show what more do we have as a destination. So the core idea was to build an emotion that South Africa has everything to offer that everybody is seeking from the Indian traveler. We've got the food, we've got the activities, we've got the culture, we've got the history, we've got the open white spaces, we've got the natural beauty. And in the center of it was that in everything that you do as a traveler or as a seller, was to bring to say, there's so much more to the destination than you had expected.
So with this campaign, who are you targeting? Is it the trade or the consumers?
We must remember that South African tourism highly prioritizes our relationships with the trade. We also prioritize our consumers. But before I even go to who's the target market, South African tourism and South Africa as a country, we've got over 3,000 activities that we are selling and we are offering. And in the center of it is something called adventure. Those 3,000 plus activities, the biggest consumers of those in the world in South Africa are the Indian travelers. They are an ardent adventure seeker. But adventure is not necessarily meaning jumping off a bridge or doing the Orobi Gorge or shark diving or skydiving or paragliding. Adventure is bottling my own wine, making myself feel that I'm in the center and in control of my own emotion, my own destiny. And it is such an opportunity to feel achieved in whatever it is that I do. It gives me a sense of completeness, a sense of achievement, and a sense that I have fulfilled my dream, my wish list. So the target market then automatically becomes, from a core experiential level, is our young millennials. We've seen a huge growth in India in terms of the millennials. Our tour operator partners are saying the market has shifted. However, having said that, we've also got niche markets that we've really realized that they're really booming from an Indian perspective. Honeymooners, we've got bikers, golfers, runners. These target markets are also, these TGs are also within our realm, and we've got something to offer. And hence the More and More is to say, not only can you come and do your conventional trip, but you also, there's so much more. You can run the Nelson Mandela Marathon, the two Oceans Comrade, the cycle tours So every aspect of our TG, or every TG that we are seeking, there is an element that we can fulfill as a country. So it is our FITs, it is our millennials, it is also MICE. We've got a huge MICE following. Right now, as we speak, we've got a delegation of 120, 150 film crew filming. Do we have something for them to offer? Absolutely. Fantastic locations, fantastic breakaways, fantastic in terms of transport, fantastic filming locations. So every one of our niche markets is important. So it is leisure, it is business, it is film, and it is niche markets.
So as you said that all the markets are very important for you, but for the campaign, you specifically chose adventure as the central focus of your first campaign in India that is happening after over 2 years. So any particular reason as to why did you pick up adventure?
They say in marketing, numbers don't lie. 3,000 activities, over 95,000, 96,000, just shy of 1 lakh travelers coming to South Africa. Every one of them would have experienced shark diving. Every one of them would have experienced jet skiing. Every one of them would have experienced an adventurous safari. Every one of them would have experienced going up Table Mountain. So it is the emotion attached to adventure, not necessarily just the experience of jumping, but every one of these activities fulfills an adventurous desire that each of our travelers comes to South Africa to meet and explore and experience.
As you were talking about how the millennial segment is so important for South Africa at this given time, but as tourism is reviving now and things are getting back to normal, where do you see the first demand coming from and for what kind of travel experience?
Leisure, absolutely. It's easier, smaller groups right now. And we've seen the recovery. One of the greatest things about what bonds South Africa to India is that we are almost very similar in terms of construct, socioeconomically, emotionally, culturally. We've seen a very beautiful uptake of South Africa in the last year. And this is from your FITs. There's been a very good story to tell about FITs, honeymooners. We've seen a lot of film crews, about 5 to 6 film crews have come in. Timing is perfect, right? Less in terms of it. Timing is perfect because there's been less hassles into getting in and out of South Africa. Ease of visas has been incredible. Then we are seeing a demand from a MICE perspective, incentives. As we said, we've got quite a nice pipeline of inquiries coming from bankings, construction companies as well. So we're going to see the leisure followed by MICE, and then the film industry is also showing quite a nice growth from our side.
Air connectivity still continues to be a big challenge for South Africa. So how are you going to address that, and how much boost can direct flights provide?
So right now, the air bubbles are really hurting the travel industry, not just South Africa.
Yes.
The travel industry, the travel fraternity, impacting the consumer. We are in constant deliberation engagements with the airlines. We are constantly pleading. We are constantly negotiating. Right now, we are sitting with a pipeline conversation with one of the airlines in India where we are reducing a price that might even start at 30,000 rupees, right? Because we understand that if we don't have a customer value proposition, there'll be no travel. My plea to the airline industry is that let us put in the center the interest of the consumer. Happy consumer, happy bottom line in terms of an airline business. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I am elated and I'm humbled. It's always an honor to be engaging and to be engaged. And I'm looking forward to meeting you and talking more about South Africa and also showcasing our country with more and what else we've got to offer. Thank you very much. Shukriya, much appreciated.
Thank you so much, Neliswa.